Welcome to our webinar on Wednesday, the 10th of June. My name is Sebastian Bode, and I would like to welcome all participants from all over the world, as well as my colleagues Claudius and Dirk from our service office in Bautzen and from home office. Hello, Dirk.
Hello together. Best regards from Dessau, the home of Bauhaus Architect School and the Junkers Aircraft.
Thank you, Dirk. Hello, Claudius.
Yeah, hello together and enjoy the webinar. Many greetings from the over 1,000-year-old city in Saxonia, Bautzen.
Thank you, Claudius, and thank you for your self-promotion. But back here to the topic. Claudius and Dirk will take over the part of the questions today. And for those of you who have followed us before, they are already familiar with the tool, but we know that there are often many new of you in the webinars, and so I explain it again. Depending on the device you use, I mean iPad, Windows Surface, and so on, you have the possibility to contact us via the question window. Simply write your questions in the lower area, send it to us. The questions are not visible for the public and will be answered directly back to you. If questions of the same kind are asked more frequently, we will include them. We try to include them in our webinar. Please also write us if you have problems with the sound or the image quality. And for this, a small tip in advance: if you have quality problems, please use also the possibility to transmit the sound by phone. Or you can also check if there are other services running, download, update, and so on. Please stay with us after the webinar until we answered all your questions. We will then only switch off the microphones and the screen, but we can communicate via chat and question window with you. As always, we will record this webinar, and you can find it in a few days on the well-known platforms as our help page, help.orgadata.com, our YouTube, and our Vimeo channel. Last week, we had the last tips and tricks episode for the first season, and it was really great. And for this, I looked how much of you are participating in the six episodes, and that was a great number of more than 1,400 of you, and that really great. Thank you for this. One colleague asked me after that if this really the number of the visitors is, or if there are some people visiting with more together in a meeting room and so on. And to be honest, I can't really say that. And so I prepared a small survey to start in today's webinar. The question is: are you watching alone or in a group? Yeah, you're watching alone. No, you're 2, 3, 4, or more than 4. Would be nice if you take part here. And yeah, I'll give you about 1 minute for the survey. And you have to know, there's a small problem. If you cannot take part here, make it not in the full screen, but also in the screen mode. Then it should work. So also today we are around 100 participators. Thank you for that. Thank you for taking the time for us here. Okay, 52% have participating here in the survey. Perhaps the rest might also. And then in a few seconds we have 1 minute over. Okay, and in 3, 2, 1, I will close this the survey, and I will show you also the result. So 83% are watching alone, but there are 6% which are watching with more than 4, 3% are 3, and 8% are 2. Okay, that's really great, and I think that's really great that you are watching with bigger groups. Thank you for that. And for the next time I'm asked, I could give the colleague a very nice answer. So, but back to that, what we are planned for today. At first, I will close here the camera because it should be about LogiKal and not about me. So, the timetable for today. The first, all about glazing. It's a little bit optimistic, but I try to show you as much as possible how you can easily realize architecturally appealing glass construction with LogiKal, and how you can very easy update your own database and some other tips. The second point are labor hours. Holiday time well planned. Of course, the correct consideration of the working hours is not only important during the holiday period, but especially then it is important for you to know exactly how much working time you really need for each project. The aim is always to be able to set realistic deadlines and then meet them. And how LogiKal help you with it, I will show you in the second topic today. The third part today is a small bonus for you. It's about configurators. Everything taken into account directly into LogiKal. And how does that work? I will show you at the end. Yeah, the first topic is all about glass. I once heard the slogan designing with glass and profile, and I think that's exactly what LogiKal is about and what is our work the whole day. This includes not only simple elements, but also special wishes, as an example for glass corners and so on. Last weekend, I make a small walk here through Lea. The weather was good, and there I see a nice window. I take a picture and bring it here for you. And it was a nice old city villa here directly in the city. And a few years ago, an architect renovated it, and yeah, he brings here a nice window, and yeah, he don't want to have these disturbing corner profiles, and so he worked with this glass corners. And when I see it, I thought to myself, this must also work with LogiKal. And that is the first point I want to show you now. So we start, as you all know it, with a new position. I heard that it is such a window is called a bay window here. And for this, I have a special favorite system. And yes, so here in the grid input, you have the first time you have to be, which is important. You see only one field here, but when you bring here the grid inside, you have to look for every different glass. So we have here not one field in the width, but 3. I took not the exactly dimension, but I think this could be right. So, and now we have here the function that you can say LogiKal that these two should not be profiles, but the solid glass corners here. We take both, and now you can say to LogiKal which type of solid glass corner you want to use. An outer corner, yes, that's right. And yeah, we want to use symmetric glass corner with step. The angle of the folding should be 30 degrees, I think, and the gap between the panes, as an example, 10 millimeters. Okay, and then we can go back into the next step. LogiKal wants to know if it really fixed glazings here, and the rest is made out of the system preferences. So we go into the next step, but then LogiKal gives us a message. This important that it is an important message because LogiKal gives us the hint that there are no system accessories for the connectors, for the profile connectors. Okay, then it could not be 30 degree, but perhaps, yeah, as an example, 45 degree. And what I want to show you here is that you could easily edit the glass corners if there are any changes and you want to have other things here. As an example here, the angle. So we go then into the next step, and we do not have here the warnings, and if you want to be very secure, then you can take here a look on the parts list and see here that the corner cleats are taken into account. So here everything is fine, and then we go into the glazing part. Yeah, it's a normal window in the house, so we could take a standard glazing, but you have to know that normally the step glass costs more, and this must be taken into account for a good calculation. And there's a question: how does your glass supplier do it? Does he offer a higher price per square meter, or is there a surcharge per pane? Both is no problem. If we have ever watched one of my webinars, you can probably guess what is coming next. We create here a new project glass. So, and to make it easy, I import one out of my own database here. And you can make it also with your own database, and then you only have to change the name, the description, and so on. I delete this, and then you can go directly here in the estimation part and change, for example, here the price per square meter to 70 euro, or add here in surcharge per piece. Yes, the surcharge per piece is also a very suitable thing for the calculation, for as an example, alarm spiders and so on. So, and while we are here at it, I want to show you something more. Here in the advanced part, we have also the possibility to add here directly an address for the supplier. So, and why that is so good, I show you in the next step. So we take here the step glazing, accept it, and then you can finish the position, and you're ready. But what follows now? The normal orders, I think that's nothing special here. Everybody of you know it, and yeah. But very special here is the glass order, because that's a special glazing. And for this, I have prepared here in a special glazing order report, and we take a look here. So the first thing is that you see here the address of the glazing supplier, so that and if you have different glazing suppliers, you have automatically also different reports here. And when we scroll a little bit down, you see here everything you need. A wonderful glass order, no wishes remain unfulfilled, and your glass supplier knows exactly how the glass should be produced. No questions, everything is fine and easy and fast. At first, an element where you can think, well, it's a little bit complicated, but with LogiKal, it's not a problem, can do very much nice things. But on the subject of glass, I have more wonderful functions that I would like to show you. The first function should make updating your glass database much easier. For this, you take here, look in the project glass, and look here on the export button, because you can export all the information you have here into an Excel file. We can save that, and after that I open it directly for you, that you see everything here. And if there are some changes, price and so on, you can send this directly to your glass supplier, and he can, as an example, add here an extra price. He save it, send it back to you, and then you have here the possibility to import it directly back into LogiKal. So we choose here the right Excel file, and important that you give LogiKal the hint that it is an Orgadata Excel file, that LogiKal knows, okay, where is which information, and then you can click here through it. You see here that the glazings are updated, and if there are new glazings, LogiKal knows it because the name is different. Okay, and then we can take here a look in the estimation part and see here very easy the new price. And so everything by updating the database, the glass database, that can everything do your glass supplier. The second, what I want to show you is the thermal insulation, the U value of windows. You probably already know that LogiKal does the calculation automatically for you. Also there you have some cool ways to influence the U value. For this, I've prepared here an element, and we take here directly a look into the glazing part of this element. Here on the right side, you see every time the actual U value, and if you make a click on it, you get some more informations. At first, we scroll a little bit down and see here achievable values for other gasket variants. So if the system has different gasket variants, LogiKal calculate automatically the U values, and you do not have to try it and look how it works. You see it here directly. And if 1.7 is enough for you, you can go into the position properties and change the gasket variant. The other important thing are the informations for the different parts of this window. The U value for the profiles, the U value for the glass, and the U value for the interconnection of the glass. And here you see also the ratio, as an example, the interconnection, how much it depends here in the total U value. And you see a quarter of the whole U value is only the interconnection. So if we want to make it better, then it is easy to change here the interconnection. And we do it here as an example. We look here from making a new project glass, copy this one, we name it better normal glazing, and take here a look into the type of the spaces. Yeah, I take a look here. The Swiss Spacer Ultimate, I know it. It's a very good one, but there are many others which are better or not better. Talk to your glass supplier and he could give you the hint which you can choose here. And if you cannot find the right one here, please contact us. Then we do everything to bring it very fast here into the database. Yeah. I save it, and then we want to have it here in the whole element. And when you take here a look, we have made the U value 0.3 points better than before. And when you take again here a look, you see also that the ratio of the interconnection is much lower. And if we now want to make it better, then we have to change the glass or the profiles. Yeah, glass is more than 50%. So, and we want to make it better, then a good way is to take in 3-layer glazing here. So we do put this into the element and see then that the U value also gets better. Take also a look, and when you look on the C value of the interconnection, then you see that it's now also better. So LogiKal also registered when that the C value of the same spacer gets better from the 2-layer glazing to the 3-layer glazing. And if you have ever dealt more closely with the U value of the glazing, then you know that the C value of curtain walls is also different. To show it, I've here also prepared a small curtain wall, and also here we take a look on the glazing. Here the U value, and we see here that the interconnection is again different. And very nice is here also to see that the ratio of the profiles for curtain walls is only 7.9%. So if you want to make the U value of the curtain wall better, there's, I think, no way around making better the glass or making better the interconnection. Yeah, so you have to know that LogiKal does everything for you, that you get the right U value very easy, and that you have every information how you can get on the best way to the needed U value. At this point, I think there was enough about glass. The second major topic today are the labor hours, and we want to start with it now. Especially during the holiday season, it is very important that you have an overview of how much working time is needed for which job. In the past, I used to estimate the working hours very roughly, but yeah, that was fast, but it was never really clear whether we were right. The company does exist also today, but yeah, in real good and detailed calculation was never possible. If you have the same problem, then it is the first question how you can start with it basically. Therefore, you have to start here in the additional settings. You have here an extra part for the labor hours, and you have prepared some time parts here, and that could be different things, the working steps in your fabrication and so on. Here I've made cutting, CNC, basic time, and so on. And we add here as an example the end control. This should be displayed, and when you are finished here with the description, there's the question, what are these other checkboxes for? The first one, accept suggestions, means that you have normally you have the possibility in the position that you can edit the time which LogiKal calculates out of your informations. If you activate here this checkbox as an example for the basic time, you do not have nobody has the possibility to change it. So you have to be very, very sure that the time you bring into LogiKal is really right here. For the second point, don't multiply with position quantity. Yeah, what means that? Also here in a small example, the work preparation. If we make one door and need 1 hour for one door in the work preparation, then if you have 10 pieces of the same door, then you need not 10 hours, you need only the same 1 hour. And if you then have 10 doors, they are only calculated 6 minutes per hour. So 1 hour for the 10 doors, or not for every door. The third part here, estimation surcharges. Yeah, it's a calculation part that is easier when I activate it here and show it to you a little bit later. So when you have finished here, then you've basically made everything very good. Then you can start directly putting in here the times into LogiKal, the times you need for the fabrication and so on. When you start to create this, it is the easiest way that you bring here at first an element where you know which time you need for that. I prepared here one thing in the position library, because you have to control it. While you bring the time into LogiKal, you have to control how the time relates into the different elements. So as an example, you take some windows, some doors, and then you take every time yeah, look how it works. So when we have it here, then can go here in the user database and and then you have here the special part of the labor hours. There you have to know that you can set times very standard for always, for every element, till very, very detailed to every special system. Also here an example. The work preparation is every time the same. Every time for doors, windows, curtain walls, and so on. And then we say we need here 30 minutes work preparation for every element, for everything. Okay. And after that, we can say, yeah, but the rest of the time is very special for the system. And then we swap here directly in the Vicona Evo system. And there we can bring in the special times for the system. So also here's some examples. For the corner connections, we need 2 minutes per piece, and in the assembly 5 minutes, and yeah, the same here for the T connectors. So, and what do we also need? Perhaps in for the seals, we can do it per field, because that's a good example for the meters, that you can bring also time here per meter. We need it in the assembly part, and then we can say 1 minute per meter in the whole fields. LogiKal knows how much fields, how much meters, and then multiply it with 1 minute here. Yeah, what do we also need? Hardware for mounting the hardware here for a turn tilt window. At this here, and yeah, how much time do we need? As an example, 120 minutes, so 2 hours. That's good. For the turn tilt window, it's very easy. A little bit more difficult is it for doors. You can do it also very roughly for the doors, but we have an other special part here. Here in the door hardware, you can bring here every different times you need for different hinges, for lock, for striking plate, and so on. And LogiKal brings the different times here together. To not completely break the time frame here, I've prepared the entries. And yeah, if you would like to familiarize yourself with this subject, please also have a look here that you can bring time for the bottom configurations, for the couplings, for the add-on profiles, and so on. Now we want to see the result. We close it and take here and a look in the additional data of this element. And now we see here that LogiKal automatically brings here the whole times together. And if you want to know how the times come here together, you have here the time suggestion information. You see here the whole times for the CNC part, for the assembly, for the hardware, for the work preparation, everything you need here. And you have also the possibility to print it directly or to export it in Excel when you need it for other programs and so on. Before we take a look in a good overview for the whole project, I want to show you here that you can change every time here, as an example here for the CNC part, but not here for the basic time, because we activate here the first checkbox and say, no, nobody can edit this time here. So when we think that's really good, then we close this element here, and then we can take a look on the report labor hours. There you can have a great overview for the whole project. In this case, we have only marked one element, but you see here the total times for the different parts, the total time for this position, and also the total time for the whole project. So if you have many positions, you have a very good overview and can know in which part you need how much time. Okay. Everybody of you knows these special parts. So yeah, as an example, you have a log which is very complicated within cable and so on and so on. And for this, you need more time, but it's only for special articles. And for this, you have also a special function here. We want to make it, for an example, for a log of Vicona, which is here in the door element. And therefore, the whole database of Vicona has to be loaded here. And therefore, we take here a look on the log. And last webinar, we talked here about the usable residual length. Now we go a little bit deeper here, and you see here that you can also add here some labor hours. So we need here 30 minutes, and we save it. So, and now we want to take a look. If it is really here in the element, we take a look here in the additional datas and directly here in the time suggestion info. Scroll a little bit down and you see it here the half an hour for the special log here. So it is an additional time to the others you need here. So, okay, the next step I want to show you is that we have here only talk about the times for the fabrication, but often you also want to know how much time you had to use for the installation. This is not so easy as for the fabrication because on the building side, there's not also always the same situation. And I've thought about a good example, how you can use it. And a good example is the calculation of the working time for the wall connection. Also for this, we go here into the labor hours, and I think the time for the wall connection is for aluminium and door elements every time the same here. And so we take here a look at the standard time for aluminium and door, and here you can add also times for the wall connection here. I think 10 minutes per meter are nice. We can save it very easy and take again here a look into the additional data of this element. And you see here now the 1.82 hours for this element. Very easy, and every time it is calculated automatically. By the way, LogiKal brings here only the time together, shows you how much time you need. But for a right calculation, you know every working hour costs money. So, and for this, you have the possibility to make some nice settings here in the estimation data. On the right side here, you can set the price per hour for every different time part here. As an example, for the CNC part, that costs more because you have also the cost for the machining here and so on. And perhaps the cutting is not so high and so on. So you can make different prices per hour here. The other thing is, if you have very big projects, then you can, as an example, work with the time reduction. So when you have 50 of the same elements, everybody of you know that could be faster. And when you have this, you can here add, as an example, 10% time reduction and more. And if you need more time, make a negative number here. As an example, minus 10%, then you get more 110% of the time. The other point you could choose here is here the discount for special times. If you work, as an example, with an extra installation company and they say to you, okay, we get 45 euro per hour, but you get 3% extra discount. Then you bring it here into bring here the information into LogiKal, and you get a smaller price, but the right quantity of the hours. So with this point, I think you have every possibilities to get the right price and the right quantity of hours here in your project. That was quite a lot for the labor hours, but I think I have one more special function. The last function I want to show you is, of course, my absolute favorite function in this area. This is a little bit special. The question is, no, you have to know that we put it here in the time, the labor time for the installation. But what could you do if you sometimes make the installation and sometimes you only deliver the elements? The first point is that you can every time delete the time, the installation time. Or the second and easier way is you work with the special project variables. Here I have one prepared, the user variable. I make a double click on it, and to show it to you, you can give it a name and then different selections with installation and in this case without installation. And if you need it for other things, you are really free to use it. So now we have to give LogiKal you have to say to the installation time that it should be only used if the project variable has an exact setting. Therefore, we go here directly back into the labor hours and take here again a look in the settings for this special time. And when you look here, you see here that you can bring directly for this time a special project variable. In this case, installation. And now LogiKal knows this time should only take into account when the project variable installation stands on the value with installation. I think that's clear. But the question arises, how can you change the project variable? That's also not a problem. You can find it here in the preferences. The other preferences, we have here a new function, the project variables, and here you can say, okay, the installation should be without the installation. So only delivery the elements, or the customers take it by himself from your company. This we can save, and important is that this window opens automatically when you create a new project. So that's not an extra step you have to do, it's in the first steps of every new project here. So, and now I think we can take here again a look in the element to see how it works with the time. And you see no time for the wall connection here. So I think that's a very, very easy and great way to give LogiKal the information if it is with installation or without, and perhaps you have many other great ideas how you can use it. And the topping is you can use it also for these apportion costs. So when you if you use this function also. I think now that's enough for this part of the labor hours, and I think it's really great. And if you want to use it and if you want to start with it, make a brainstorming, make thought about it, how we want to construct it, how we want to make it. And if you need help, please do not hesitate to contact us. We have many specialists which can help you for that, which can come over to you and help you with that special topic directly in your company. And I promise you, if you use that very good, it's the easiest way to get the right time on your project. So the time's nearly over. We have only 3 minutes, but for this, in this time, I want to show you the bonus today, the configurators. The first point here is, if you want to use them, please contact your supplier first. There are different ways to set them up. Most are online configurators, and therefore you need some access data, and these can give directly your supplier to you. To show you how you can use such a configurator in LogiKal, we make a new position here. It should be a normal door, nothing special here. And we delete these profiles. We want here the door sash. We have to insert here. We have to select here the right inserts. So nothing really special here. Profiles are directly here inside from the system preferences, and we can make the direct step here into the glazing part. So, and now you can here go through the project glass directly to the online configurator of Pilkington. This is only an example. There are much more for other things, and only a click is enough, and the online configurator starts here. I bring it here on the right screen, and then you have here the possibility to see every part here, every different glazings Pilkington have here for you. And if you really want to have this into your LogiKal, then you only have to double click on it and you have it directly here with all the right description, with all the pane thickness, the spacer gap, and so on and so on. So every important technical informations. And then it is very easy. We can take here, look on the project glass, take this glazing, accept, and everything is here in LogiKal. So after that, we only have to take the right hardware configuration here for the door, and then you can finish the element. So it's an easy way to get informations from other suppliers here directly into LogiKal. And I show you here only the possibility of one configurator, but there are many more possible. As an example, for special door panels, for post boxes, and more and more and more. I think that's really great, and try it. It is really good. So, and if your supplier has a special configurator which has not yet an interface to LogiKal, please also contact us. We would like to know it and make this possible for you. In this sense, the time's nearly over. I hope that I was able to show you clearly how you can master even complicated glazings with LogiKal, and that you can get through the summertime with the right times out of LogiKal. At this point, the questions to the colleagues, are there any questions open, or could you answer everything? Claudius.
So far, everything is answered.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your questions. Thank you to the colleagues that you take the time here. Very nice. After the webinar, you can expect 2 surveys today. The first survey is, I'm sure you already know, your chance that we will contact you directly regarding training and so on. The second relates to future webinars. Me and my predecessor have already covered many topics. but perhaps the topic you wanted was not included. Then you now have the chance to express here a wish. 1 or 2 or 3 keywords are enough, and I would try to consider these topics as soon as possible in such one of the next webinars. But of course, I cannot promise you anything here. And if the topic was already included in other webinars, I would be happy to show you where you can find it. Now, I wish you a nice rest of the week. Thank you for participating. I wish you a nice summer holiday season. Stay healthy. Until then, thank you. Bye and see you soon.